Everybody, welcome back to Girls Gone Pod. So, quick little comment. I literally videoed this video, right? And I realized that my microphone went dead, went shit. So now I had to charge this one, and I didn't realize it until like halfway through the video that I made that it decided to die on me. So yeah, that's been great, been lovely. So there's that. So this video will be about pros and cons and dating, or I should say pros and cons and being single, not dating. I mean, we can do some based on dating too if you have time. But I also know it's been a minute, so let's do a little bit of a catch up. The last time we talked, I told you guys that I had a date. Couldn't find out, obviously that didn't happen. I mentioned that to you guys. And then the guy that same day, my sister-in-law, I cannot talk today. My sister-in-law and I went to the bar, and I told you guys that I was talking to a guy that I met there that same night, right? Well, he canceled on me twice. Twice, guys. Twice. First and foremost, I don't understand why can't you just talk and just use communication when people just ghost you in general. First of all, I'll give this guy credit. He did text me, but then he also ghosted me for almost a whole day too, remind you, like randomly just stopped talking to me and then texted me the next day. And then that's when he's like, the same day that we're supposed to have our date, he canceled on me. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, are you serious? And I'm just kind of thinking to myself, like, wow, this is the second time you canceled on me. I'm done. Like, I'm not going to keep going. And the fact that he used the same excuse for the first and the second time, like, why can't you come out and just say that you can't afford to take me on a date? But then you're going to go out to the bar, though? Oh, and the funny thing is, he's like, okay, well, that's my answer. And he's like, I guess, if you're at a bar and you happen to see me and I'm there, like, come over and say hi. Yeah? Yeah, I highly doubt it. I'm probably not going to do that, to be honest. Like, it's just aggravating. It really is. Just be upfront and just be honest and be blunt. Maybe this is going to be one of the reasons why it's a pro to be single, because men don't seem to have their head out of their ass and have common sense and have communication, because God forbid you talk and you have communication with somebody. So with that being said, pros and cons. I will tell you mine, and then I will Google this, and I will tell you what Google has to say. So let's start with cons, shall we? Cons, your time. That time that you're giving to somebody else in that relationship, you can be putting it towards you. Pro, that's a pro. You have all this extra time on your hands to do whatever you want and please. Another con is, well, I feel like you lose independence to a certain point. Like, now you used to do everything yourself, which is great. Like a pro, like, a very independent person, that's great. But then when you're in a relationship, then you kind of get comfortable with the other person, being in your life, and you don't have to worry about all these full responsibilities, and it's on you. So, like, some people think that you lose independence a little bit, which there's nothing wrong with. Like, you're still going to be, your independent self, but you just have a partner that should be helping you with things. I mean, a pro is you don't have to worry about other people. You can do what you want. You can do what you please. You don't have to worry about other people's feelings. If you want to say, hey, I want to go out tonight, last minute, go for it. Knock yourself out. I mean, you can be adventurous. You can do whatever you want. If there's hobbies that you've been wanting to do and you just haven't had the time to do, that's another pro that you can use as to being single. Like I said, time. You have so much more time in your hands than what you realize when you're single. Like, you don't have to worry about other people in your life, and a relationship takes up so much more time than what people realize. And if you don't have that time on your hands, then what's the point? What's the point of getting in a relationship if you can't give that person the all that they need, like what they deserve? If you can't, then there's no point. I understand that, even when being in a relationship, you still need to make time for yourself, make time for your friends, and make time for your families. And there's certain things of that you can still do together with. But it's also, important to have your alone time too, whether it's alone time with you and your other half, or it's alone time by yourself. And even with by yourself, like, it's still very much important to have. And I think that people should take that in consideration. Even though you're in a relationship, still make time for yourself. Go and have fun, or go pamper yourself, or have a spa day at home, like take a bubble bath, like have that mental time that you can give yourself and be like, okay, I don't have to worry about the kids. If you have kids, I have a kid. You don't have to worry about what other people are doing. You can just focus on in that moment or in that day, like what is going to make me happy? What's going to make you happy? What is going to benefit your health? Your health is important, and having alone time is also a part of, your health, like your mental capacity. Like, people take alone times because of that, benefiting yourself, benefiting your health. Like, there's nothing wrong with that by any means. And some people, like, as moms, we kind of regret, or we feel bad, or like, instead of doing this or buying ourselves a new bra or whatever it might be, like, we regret, and we'd be like, oh, we should put this time that we put on ourselves into our kids more. And it's like, we already put so much time into our kids. Same thing as relationships. You already put so much time, if you have a good relationship, into your relationship, that it's nice to take a breather and step back and be like, I can do this for myself. I need me time. It's okay to ask for it. It's okay to be like, hey, like, I need this. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's a pro to me, in my opinion. And whether or not, if you are single or not. And see, so let's look at being in a relationship as a pro, but also being single. Then you don't have to worry about asking other people, or asking your other half about that, like, or telling them, like, hey, like, it's been a week, or it's been a day, or whatever, it's been a night, or whatever it is, like, I need some me time. When you're single, you can do whatever the heck you want and whatever you please of doing. Last minute, you can just go and you can just do. You don't have to worry about other people. Like, you have all this time to figure out what you want to do with it. What's gonna make you happy in the long run. Like, it's not about other people that you have to worry about. You can just focus on yourself. And let me tell you, it's so much less stress too. I mean, I'm not saying that, like, being in a relationship is like always stress and always stressful. I mean, it's not, but I'm not saying that it's easy though either. And a relationship is two people, using and taking all of those commitments together, not just on one person. Same thing as having a kid with somebody, like your partner. Like, having a kid, like, isn't meant for one person. You shouldn't take all that load on one person. Like, you shouldn't. It's for two people. A relationship is for two people. Commitments that both of you guys should be making. It's time. It's a lot of time. And some people, they thrive on being in relationships. Me, I honestly, I feel like I thrive being in a relationship, being out of relationships. Like, other people, they thrive being single. Some people think being single is the best time of their lives, and they don't think that they ever want to get back in a relationship, or get in a relationship for that matter. Some people love the idea of being single and having fun and having side pieces on the side. Like, some people think that they would rather just live their remaining lives that they have left being single, because it's less stress, it's less work. Relationships are work. It's all the time that you would have given that other person, it's all on you, or towards your friends. If you have a lot of friends and you feel like you don't make enough time for them, there you go. Family, hobbies, like, there are so many pros and cons. I feel like it's kind of different a little bit for everybody. But let's look at Google. Let's see what Google has to say, and let's go from there. So, pros and cons of being single: freedom. kind of what we talked a little bit about. Like, you have all this extra time and you can do whatever you want. You can flirt and go out and talk to whoever you want, and you have to worry about other people's feelings and other people, how they would think about this and what would they think of you and what would you say and how would you go about it. Con, you can start to feel left out. Imagine going home and you feel like there's something going on, but like you feel like, you don't know about it, but you feel like you're being left out. Like, you feel like you're lonely. And I feel like that's an issue for me, is I don't like feeling like I'm lonely or being lonely. Like, I'm not like I'm having content like out in need to be in a relationship by any means, but like I don't like to feel lonely either. And I feel like a lot of people are that way though too. Like, I don't think a lot of people do feel like they want to be lonely. Like, nobody wants to feel like they're lonely by any means. So I guess that's a con. A pro, time, like we talked about, time management. You can manage it however you like and however you feel, because it's just you. Nobody else in your life besides your friends, family, all that. Con, less company. If you love company, it goes back to being or feeling like you're lonely. When you're with somebody, or you're dating somebody, or if you're living together, you're going home to that other person, like, and that's another thing too. Like, so today's Wednesday. I don't feel like my battery's dead or feel like I'm just done with the week until I hit like Thursday, or like towards like the end of Thursday, and then going into Friday. Like, that's usually when I feel like I'm like, oh, all right, well, like I'm glad it's Friday. Like, let's get through this day and then I'm done. It's the weekend. I feel like that today. I don't know. It's been a week. It's been a day. Like, I don't know. There's a full moon coming. Like, I don't know what, but it's been off. And let me tell you, my kids in my classroom, it's been a ride. It's been something, and they are just acting different. So there must be a full moon or something happening. I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to snow over tonight. Like, where I'm at, like this tonight, like, overnight, it's supposed to snow. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe it's due to the weather. It's been kind of gloomy here. It's been raining. Haven't really been able to get the kids out. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's been a week. So, like, going home when you're single, you don't have to worry about talking to anybody else. You don't have to worry about seeing anybody else unless you have roommates or live with family or whatever. Like, you don't have to worry about making sure you have some energy left of your battery, your social battery, to put towards something else or towards somebody else. You don't have to worry about that, when you're single. So that's I guess, a pro and a con, depending on how you want to look at it. A pro, no ball and chain. It says, haha, okay, ball and chain sounds a bit brutal, but for real, single life for me, um, means that I can live my groupie dreams. I'm more inclined to go out there in the world, step out of my comfort zone, and meet more people. There's no jealousy if you're flirting with that barista and you touch hands. No compromises needed and no commitments whatsoever. Yeehaw. A con, less romance in. Now, I'm a huge romance person. I love romance. I thrive on romance and love. And I guess that's like another pro about me, like being in a relationship, is that like I feel like I am a priority to somebody else in their life. And I feel like I'm actually cared about and loved and loved for if, they actually are the right person and they like treat you right. And I love being swept off my feet no matter which way it is. I mean, like, TMI, I have a high sex drive. So like, I think romance, no matter which way you go about it, is great. So that's it of that list. Google in general says that on one hand, single Pringle living is a destiny full of freedom, independence, and time. On the other hand, this can come with feelings of being left out, being a little lonely, and lack of affection. In my humble opinion, there's a time and a place for everything. And I've always believed that there's a time and a place for everything. What you do in a certain area may not be what you would want to do in another area. Like, there's a time and a place for appropriate behavior and how you go about that situation. Like, you're not gonna cuss out and swear and do all these vulgar stuff when you're around other people's children. Like, there is a time and a place for everything. There could be a time and a place and everything, and right now could just not be that time for you to be in a relationship. Maybe right now it's just to be single, you know? there's another way to look at it and look about it, to be honest. So let's go over the list here. It says more time, we talked about. You can use your time however you want, including pursuing other interests, increase independence. You can meet new people, build new relationships, and spend more time with friends you already have. Less stress about money. Studies showed that self-sufficient single people are less likely to experience negative emotions, which I could see, honestly. I mean, like I said, relationships are a lot. So, like, there is stress that tends to come with that. And that's one less stressful thing that you have to worry about or add on your plate or into your life. You know, if you don't want to deal with it, you don't have to deal with it. It's one of those things that you pick and choose. Boosted creativity. Being alone can help you tap into your intuition and vision and think more outside the box. Didn't think about it that way. And like going back onto like the whole money situation, think about all that money that you would be spending in that relationship on that person. You could be putting towards a different activity in your life. If you want to take up snowboarding, go for it. If you want to have a different hobby than snowboarding, go for it. No matter what your hobby is, you get that money that you would have spent on somebody else, you can go and put it towards on yourself or whatever you want to go towards. You want to have savings, go for it. Like, you have all this extra money in your pocket because you're not spending it in a relationship. And it says increase connectedness. A study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that being single can increase social connections. So you're more likely to maybe go out more, to worry about other people's feelings and how they feel. And like, if they don't want to go out, then most likely you may or may not go out either. Like, you don't have to worry about what you say to other people and what you do, like how you go about it. Like, if you're a little flirty, you don't have to worry about it because you don't have a partner in your life to worry about their feelings and how they feel about what you are doing. You are a free bird and you can do as you please and what you want to do. Like, it doesn't matter because you have nobody else to worry about. And it says not answerable to anyone. You can live and strive for improvement without as many constraints as people in romantic relationships. So going back to a study in Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that being single can increase social connections. Like, going out more, like it says, like, you can live and strive for improvement without as many constraints. Like, you can flirt with whoever you want. If you accidentally touch somebody's hand, oh wow, you don't have to be able to feel bad or go back to your relationship and be like, so this happened, or feel guilty. Like, you don't have to worry about any of those feelings. You have to worry about feeling sorry for what you did that you shouldn't really be sorry for. Like, it is what it is. Like, things happen. Like, oh, somebody handed me something, I accidentally touched their hand. Okay, big what? But some people may or may not feel guilty about that. Like, there's no strengths. You can do and say whatever and however you want. And you can just focus on yourself, and you don't have to worry about asking somebody else, hey, do you want to go do this? Hey, are you up for that? Hey, what about this? Oh, what do you want to do? If you want to watch a movie that you've been wanting to watch, and knowing that a lot of people may or may not like that movie, or like, guys don't like rom-coms sometimes. Like, I mean, some guys do like rom-coms, but then you do get guys that don't like reality TV, girl chick flicks, drama. Like, go for it, watch it, because you don't have somebody else at home to worry about wondering, oh, like, okay, like, you don't have to worry about, like, oh, like, what do they want to watch? Like, you can just focus on what you want to watch. There's no restraints. And depending on how you look at it, I feel like there's a lot of pros in being single, but I feel like there's also a lot of pros in not being single either. I guess it depends on you and how much you like being in a relationship and how much you like being single. So if you guys have any other ideas or any other answers that I didn't say on here or that you thought of, please comment below. I will answer back to you guys. And I do apologize for how long it took for me to get another video uploaded. Life has been pretty crazy, pretty wild lately. And I just had my son this past weekend, so I've been spending a lot of time with him. But that's pretty much the end of this video. I hope you guys like it and enjoy it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.